My name is Jordan Thomas Brewer, and I am the writer and producer on Kayley. The idea of Kayley came about 5 years ago now, when I had a girlfriend, and things didn't work out, and so I broke up with her, and I decided the best thing to do would be to lie about it and create a fake girlfriend. And actually, all my friends got in on the joke, and next thing we knew, couldn't actually tell, like there was like a blurred line between us all. Like I'd walk out and there'd be notes on my car and things like that, and so it became very strange. Then I had a dream where this girl actually was real, and so yeah, that's where I got the idea from.
My role. My name is Kayley Pryor, and my role on Kayley is the director. Well, the four major roles were Kayley, Mark, Paul, and Shannon.
Right away off the bat, the one person that we knew we wanted to have in the film was Brandon as Paul. He fit the role so good, and he brought a whole element to the character that we didn't even think of before.
That was, what's her name?
To be honest, I don't remember.
Oh, damn, Marcus! Did you hook up again? Did you?
Paul and Mark looked like they've been friends forever. They had very good best friend lingo and actions, and they were just, I don't know, really, they seemed like they were actually friends, and they didn't even know each other.
So from there, the biggest thing was Mark and Kayley, and it was such a hard choice because you didn't want to cast somebody who was really good as Mark, but then would have no chemistry to Kayley, because that would be no payoff. And so there was a lot of issues with that, and we had a couple people picked out as couples, and we were comparing them all. And essentially we went with Mike and Darby just because they have such an innocence to them. They just have a genuine feeling that they're both good people. And I found out afterwards they weren't, but that's okay. Stylistically, I think the film's going to look really cool. We had a good DOP. The problem with our DOP is I think there was possibly some narcotics involved.
I'm already laughing. I'm Chris Freya, the director of photography on the major motion picture Kayley.
There was possibly some narcotics involved.
Chris Freya helped me in a huge part. The end of second year, we went over the script, we alphanumericked it. He would jump around my living room saying, well, we have to do this and this and this, and made it so I'm like, well, I want this to come here. So when like the Hey Boy scene, for example, when Kayley, we wanted Kayley to really stand out, and we wanted the focus to be directly on her, because that was her first big entrance. And I wanted it so it was on the top, so you could really see her coming in. Well, we couldn't exactly do that in our bakery that we had, but Chris made sure that she was still the center focus, and she was the one that was going to shine the most. And we had lighting and everything to like enhance that.
Carly would come to me and say, I want to do this. I would say, okay. And she'd say, I want it to look like this. And I would go, okay. And then I would get a lot of time and pre-pro planning into it, and then we would do it, and she would say, I don't like it. And then we would just have to deal with it. But sometimes she did like it. It was very late on time, and we had to plan this jib shot that comes down from a rotating fan on a ceiling onto this, just the two characters, dialogue as he enters the room, and it just looks better than him wandering in. And I remember just yelling, like, get the jib here, because the owner would have been back soon. And we did it, and it took about 1 million takes. It took a lot of takes, Jason Finch. I'm looking at Jason Finch, the camera owner. It took a lot of takes, but I think it looks really good.
I'm Jason Finch, and I was the cameraman for Kayley.
The table cam is something no one has ever done before.
What do you expect? I'm out of beer.
Bruce,
If Lindsay says you're a bitch, then you're a bitch. A whiny one, too.
The camera would sort of spin, if you will. You know, in the center, so it'd be pivoting in the center of the table. And it ended up being like an outside picnic table that had an umbrella hole and just a monopod, which is just like a piece of metal. I just kind of literally crawled under the desk with the director and like spun it with my hand. And it was really easy. But it looked just like crap.
The table, okay, that was just a messed up little rig.
I think it's the only thing we actually really reshot. Yeah, it's the only thing we reshot for the movie. And it was much more elaborate. We mounted a head actually in the center of this table from a tripod. And one of our professors brought some sort of creature from the future, some sort of gizmo with 1,000 arms, and we kind of made this large, arcing fork. Jason, our camera operator, and he just walked around the table rather goofily, and it looked almost exactly the same. But that's how we did the table cam that I invented. That's my idea. Something that you would have seen in the 70s.
With crew, we all became pretty close. Everyone kind of knew what everyone else wanted to do. Jordan always knew when I was going to get stressed out or break out, and he'd always tell me to breathe and go out of the room for a minute.
The experience on set was really, really awesome. It was a lot of fun, and everybody got along, and everybody had a really good time, and we would joke around, but we'd still get our, stuff done, and we'd keep a good atmosphere. The only thing that kind of was a bummer about being on set and all that was that we finished so fast. Like literally within a month we were done. I think we had a total of like 18 shoot days, or maybe a little bit more, but then it was just kind of like we all went home and had nothing to do. Cried a little bit.